been to Esperance. I think you go to Esperance. Oh, you might not go to Esperance. That's down south. But you go to some. I think you go to. I can't remember now on the top of my head. Do you go to Kalgoorlie? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've been to Perth a few times, but I've never driven that drive.
Amazing, just absolutely amazing. That is a wonderful story. I remember the time. Anyway, let's get moving with the show, all right? Because we got a lot to do, a lot to cover. Did you guys happen to see the logo, the new logo that I created?
Yes,
More than impressive. It's a woman riding a bicycle, reading a magazine. It's a stationary bicycle, and the current event show. So welcome everybody to our current event show. 156 under our belt as of today, which is May 17th, 2023. And just remember, everything that you hear today is an opinion. So, hey, I am your humble host, Jan Landy. Welcome everybody. I hope you're all having a great week. And so I'm all excited about hearing your opinions. So let's get moving with our opinions. Hey, there you have it. So, welcome.
Dan,
Who's got something to say? Say again?
Your screen is black to us.
That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. There we are. Now I'm back in living color, just like our logo. What do you think of the logo?
Do you really want my opinion?
Sure. Otherwise, why would you be on an opinion show?
It's good, but I was going to ask you, did you have Dali create that for you?
That is, I think I used Leonardo, but it might have been Dali.
Oh.
But Leonardo.ai, I believe. I'm not really sure, but let's say Dali. Let's go with it. And then I use Canva as well to put the typeface into it, which is pretty cool.
It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, because the reason, today we're going to be talking, okay, so the woman figure in it is Beyoncé. The bike she's on is Peloton. The magazine she's reading is Sports Illustrated. And, the power she's creating from it is nuclear fusion. So those are the stories we're going to cover today. If she was only listening to music, I would have had her with a headset on. There you go.
How clever.
Yeah, well, what the hell. So Martha Stewart, check this out. Martha Stewart, that jailbird, I guess she's out of jail now and she's flourishing one more time. She lands the historic spot of being the swimsuit model on Sports Illustrated this month. What is the world going to? Where are we coming from?
Hey, I tell you what, they're nice photos. For somebody being 81 years old, hell yeah, go girl.
Yeah, I hear she might be running for president too. You never know. At 81, she's just in a prime of her life. That's all I could say. By the way, if you guys are looking for a new job, for whatever it is, just want to and you feel like moving to Las Vegas, the director of VIP services as the Fontainebleau is now open they're taking employments. 38 applicants have applied. It pays $90,000 to $130,000, blah, blah, blah. It pays $90,000 to $130,000. It's a full-time job, and it would be the director of VIP services for the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. That was in LinkedIn. And another thing that I thought was really cool is a job that on LinkedIn was the director of show site operations for the Freeman Company in Las Vegas. And there's only 19 applicants for that. That might be a good job for you, Greg.
Really?
I mean, Freeman, right?
No, I don't. That's what I was just going to ask.
Well, Freeman is, they have the lock on the hotel AV services.
Oh, okay.
So if you're renting a projector, you're renting a screen, or you're renting a microphone from a hotel, chances are it's Freeman that you're renting it from. If you do something in the convention center, that's usually a Freeman rental as well. So they have that market locked up here in Las Vegas. At least they used to.
Didn't we have a member? He hasn't been on in a while. That used to do that. What was his name? Cablo or?
Oh, Mike Brown. Well, he did something like that. He did more of installs, and he did the install into the venues rather than rent them gear. But he did rent them gear. I mean, look, anybody who's got gear would rent to the hotels in a heartbeat because the hotels have a lot of need for gear. So I have quite a few friends in Las Vegas that have made a good living over the years doing exactly that. You know, so. Beyonce's going back on the road. What do we have to say about that? After 7 years, she's returning to solo touring, and I hear there's a bunch of flack going on around that. Anybody hear anything about that?
No,
what kind of flack?
Roberta Flack, I think. No, I don't know. I had heard that it was. I heard that people were disappointed or something. They couldn't get enough tickets. I'm not really sure. You know, it's an opinion show, not a news fact show here. So, you know.
Yeah,
okay.
She's playing Raymond James Stadium she's doing it 4 nights because she wants to one-up Taylor Swift. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will. I mean, it's going to be a great show. The money that she has available for production is off the hook, and she wants to impress her audiences. I mean, the amount of money and technology that are going into the tours. I think what it is that she's going to be using robots on the stage.
Oh, I found an article that a lot of people were criticizing her in her 3-hour set because she didn't do a lot of dancing. And they're used to seeing Beyonce dance in her shows.
Right.
By the way, speaking of people in that ilk, did you see the movie with J-Lo in it?
The Mother?
The Mother I couldn't believe the shape that woman has got herself into. I mean, she was amazing in that movie. I think it's on Amazon right now. Did you see it? Anybody see it other than Tina and I?
I haven't seen it. I've
seen it on Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Okay, yeah. I recommend it highly. And another show that people are talking about really big is the Michael Jordan Air on Amazon. I hear that.
I watched it finally. It was great.
Yeah, I hear it's really phenomenal.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, the cast is pretty impressive. Viola Davis, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. You know, I wonder.
Ludacris is in there, I think, too.
No, I didn't see Ludacris. I just seen Chris Tucker and Marlon
Chris
Wayans.
Tucker. That's right.
Yeah, Chris Tucker. That's ludicrous of you thinking that it's ludicrous.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Unbelievable, you know. But now you've destroyed my train of thought where I was going.
That's my job.
Yeah,
yep,
but I really enjoyed that.
You did good. You know, now it's my job to remember what I was talking about. You know, because I remember my mother used to say I forgot what I was saying. She said, well, and it couldn't have been that important. And then I said, I remember the house is on fire. You know, that was it. You know, you're right. It wasn't that important, you know. But anyway, the Air Jordan, Viola Davis, but it's pretty impressive that these guys are friends. You know, when I talk about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, how many great movies they've made, and a few bombs too as well. But it's an interesting friendship, and they do great work. You know, but I was wondering if Ben Affleck is really pissed at that insurance company, Affleck, and how much how much rubbing he must take. Affleck, come on, get in here, Affleck,
There's new Dunkin' Donuts commercials out right now where, Ben Affleck is, going to be there and work for them, I guess, one day. And then they don't recognize him. They say, "Oh, you're Matt Damon. Oh, yeah, we liked you in this movie and that movie."
Yeah, I saw something like a lot of people get confused with a lot of stars, and I can understand that. They were asking Leonardo DiCaprio, who he gets confused for, and he gets confused for Matt Damon, and Matt Damon gets confused for George Clooney, and it's and he also gets confused for Leonardo DiCaprio. So it's if you're not friends with people and you see a celebrity in the street, it's easy to get him confused because you're not, you just watch him in the movies, and that's it.
Right.
It seems to me almost amazing to me how much money actors will make once they hit a certain level of success for a movie. There was a story recently about Jim Carrey that when he was doing what was the movie he was doing? Ace Ventura. And they got him an Ace Ventura for a song and a dance, like basically nothing. And they felt that was going to be a bomb of a movie. And then he was doing the next movie. I think the movie was Mask. And they wanted to pay. Oh no, it was Dumb and Dumber. That was what it was.
Oh, okay.
They were going to do Dumb and Dumber, and they offered him only $500,000 to do Dumb and Dumber because they thought that Ace Ventura wasn't going to be a big movie, but he kept holding out, and Ace Ventura started doing bigger and bigger and bigger. And he ended up, I believe, he got $7 million for doing Dumb and Dumber. And of course,
he doesn't do movies
iconic
anymore. He said, he was quoted as saying, "I've got enough. I don't need to do them anymore. I'm fine. Leave it for somebody else to do it."
Yeah, he doesn't do much work anymore. Anyway, so if you had a Peloton bike, 2 million of them are being recalled. I mean, a lot of things are being called. Tesla's being recalled as well. If you have a Tesla right now, they're being recalled. A huge amount of Teslas are being recalled. But Peloton is recalling 2 million bikes because of a safety hazard caused by adjustable seats that could break I can't imagine what that must be like to be on a stationary bike. And you're locked into the pedals with your feet, and then the seat breaks. That's really got to be a painful experience.
Ouch. Yeah.
Ouch.
Talk about breaking your ankles.
Yeah, I mean that could be. That's one of the things that always scare me when I used to ride a bike a lot, and I would use the cleats to lock myself in. Is that the correct word? Cleats? Well, for lack of a better word, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not use them?
I think they're called clips. I think, actually.
Well,
Same
there you
thing.
go.
Yeah.
Same thing, cleats, clips. Hey, what's your footwear amongst friends? That's it. Just keep it clean here. Keep it clean. Keeping it clean. I want to talk about a controversial story right now. You guys, now Wayne. Do you have public television there? In other words, the government, well, it's not government supported, it's listener supported, and government does give them grants to
like
do
PBS?
like exactly like PBS here, Public Broadcasting Network here in the United States. Do you have something like that?
I think ABC is that. ABC, and is SBS government funded in any way? We have SBS here.
Well, we don't have that. Our TV stations are completely different than your TV stations.
Yeah, so definitely ABC. That's pretty much.
That's the main That's the main channel there, right?
No, I don't know. Well, we have Channel 9, Channel 10, Channel 7, and then ABC, and then SBS, and then smaller ones, I think. But they're all sort of. So the others are private, as far as I know.
Yes, you don't have a public broadcasting network, whereas they do, in-depth stories and there's no advertisements.
Yeah, ABC is that.
Okay, really good. Well, what about you in Florida, Greg? Do you have public broadcasting in Florida? Has that been banned yet?
No. Yeah, really. Yeah, with who knows? I mean, the governor here is going out. It wants to ban Mickey Mouse, so maybe he'll ban PBS as well.
Well, listen to this: the Republican governor of Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt, is his name, recently vetoed a bill that would have renewed the license and provided millions of funding for the Oklahoma Educational Television Authority, the statewide PBS network that reaches more than 650,000 viewers a week. Stitt took issue with what he alleged was LQBTQ inclusive programming on the station, claiming to Fox News that it amounted to the indoctrination and over-sexualization of our children. I mean, that to me is outrageous. Public broadcasting, that you would pull it off the air. I mean, that's sacrilegious in my mind.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to go there. Especially because I live in Florida.
Me too. I don't want to go to Oklahoma either. If I don't have to, I won't. You're right.
You couldn't ban Mickey Mouse, could you?
Well, he's trying.
Well, I mean,
Well, there's a big thing right now, and this is not a political show yet. We're going to wait till next year when the election here is in the United States. Then we'll get political if we have to. But the reality is that for those people that are watching from foreign lands, the presidential race here in the United States is heating up, and the governor of Florida, where Greg lives, is planning on running for president. And so he's doing a lot of things to either indoctrinate his base or alienate his base, whatever it seems to work. But one of the things, you don't start a fight with Mickey Mouse. And it's so many people love Mickey Mouse, but as I said a couple of weeks ago, that one of the things that the governor of Florida has recommended is to build an actual prison right outside of Disneyland. Now, why he would do that?
Toll roads on the way to Disneyland. I mean, it's so silly. I mean, Disney is the largest employer in the state of Florida, and they're the largest taxpayer in the state of Florida. So why do that? It's silly.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me as well. But one of the things that he's really now fighting with is this guy named Bob Iger. Yeah. And Bob Iger
doesn't mess around.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around. He's chairman of the board, CEO of Disney. He was the one who made Disney. He put Disney on the map the way it is today, with everything that they've done and created. Bob Iger is responsible for the success and fortunes of the later day Disneyland, which we're seeing right now. But my thought process is when you're as rich as Bob Iger and as powerful, all of your friends are rich and powerful as well. And I'm sure that Bob Iger's friends are political donors. And it would just seem that all he has to do is make a few phone calls and say, hey, Charlie, you can't give him money. He's fighting with me. You got to help me out here. And, it would just seem, insane that somebody would go against Disneyland. But anyway.
Yeah, but look at the alternative, though.
Yeah, well, let's not go there, though.
Yeah, okay. We'll wait till next year for that.
Well, speaking of fraud, let's talk about it. Last year, consumers reported nearly 2.4 million fraud complaints. Imposter scams topped the list, followed by telephone scams and online shopping frauds. And it's amazing to me how many times I get a call in a day, much less a week, where people are trying to scam me. And where it's especially prevalent right now is people calling you from customer service from banks, the IRS. What they're trying to do is identify seniors that really can't think clearly any longer and try to bamboozle them out of their money. Has anybody seen anything like that other than me?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that going on here in Florida, especially people impersonating the Social Security Service Administration.
Wayne, what about you down in Australia? You seen anything like that?
Well, not personally, but it's definitely going on. There's no doubt about that. I mean, even myself, I struggle to follow what they do sometimes in the advertising, and the emails I get are unreal.
Just the other day, somebody tried to scam me by sending me $15 for some coffee. I couldn't believe it. And they used your name, Wayne.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable.
As long as it was tasty.
Yeah.
It cost me $5 today.
Must have been a Starbucks gift card then.
Ah.
Well, anyway, you get 3 of them.
Anyway, listen, so one of the things I wanted to mention, and I didn't know this place existed, so we'll share this with you. It's called the Identity Theft Resource Center. And you might think that it will, it will teach you how to steal your identity, but actually it helps you. If you think you've been a victim of identity theft, you can contact the Identity Theft Resource Center, toll free at no cost. And I'm going to give it as a public service announcement. I'll give their phone number, 888-400-5530. And it's a nonprofit. It's established to minimize risk and mitigate the impact of identity compromise. Their website is idtheftcenter.org. And I really highly recommend that if you've been, thinking about identity theft, you call them first before you go that route. It's not a good thing. I mean, there's some, this black market, the black web, the dark web. I'm monitoring my activities that are taking place illegally on the dark web, where they're trying to steal your identity. Because every major company's had a breach right now, including the credit unions that monitor your credit, like Equifax, I believe, and T-Mobile had a breach. And, so, I mean, they go after the big companies to these, I mean, it's found money for them if they can tap into scamming you. It's, they only have to do, it costs them so little. They only have to they only have to get one sucker or one misfortunate soul, and they make their monthly pay. So now check this out. Today, Americans receive up to 150 million robocalls per month from scammers impersonating Amazon employees. Can you believe that? 150 million robocalls from scammers impersonating Amazon employees. This is from Aura, and the victims are losing $27 million in 2021 alone. And so the 7 latest Amazon score, we'll throw a link. So basically, there are seven ways they get you to scam you out of your Amazon account and order stuff for them or whatever. I don't understand how anybody would do that, but I guess.
I was about to ask how, because you should know if you ordered something. You never get a call from them. You can't even get them when you want to call them. So I don't understand why they think they would just call them out the blue for something like that.
It's the same. It's all the same thing. You get somebody to call you and say, "Hey, this is Microsoft. We've determined that your computer is infected.
Great. Let me have your name and number, and a number I can call you back at to verify."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you had the one where you're going to be arrested?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The
I'll
police
see you
are
at my
on your
front
way.
door.
On the way. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll see you at my front door with your subpoena. Thank you.
Yes, mine was the tax department. They ring up, you're in trouble with the federal tax, and if you don't pay this bill, you will be arrested.
Well, thank you. I live in Nevada. I don't pay federal taxes or state taxes. I don't know. I mean, I just wouldn't. They don't even call you and do that. They send you a letter.
The other one that I've got, and I've had several times a few years ago, was fundraising people, and it sounds real genuine. Absolutely.
Yeah. What is your website?
And I always say, like, I won't do if it's a genuine one. I always only do PA box supply of the information. Then I do a BPay, so I've got a whole track of it and I can check it all out. But if you got $10 off 1 million people, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why these people just automatically just fall for it. It's like, if you don't know your business, you should know your own business to know if you've done something or know what you've done and didn't do. Like, I already know if I've ordered something from Amazon. Like I said, it's hard to reach them. I never get a call from them. I can't even reach them half the time. So unless I'm sitting on the phone for 2 hours. So you're just going to call me out the blue and tell me that something is wrong with my account? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
There's
there's
somebody on. I forget. I'll send it to you, Jan. The link to this guy. What he does is he scams the scammer. And he does these YouTube videos of it, and it's great. He pretends he's an old lady and everything like this. And meanwhile, while he's got the person on the phone, he's hacking their computers. And he hacks into their computers and then deletes all their files and gets all their information. And then he shares a screen with them saying, "Hey, is this you? Oh, that's a nice looking car." Most of the time they're in India, but I'll send you the link. I have it saved on my YouTube favorites.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a dyslexic scammer to call me and send me money. That's what I'm hoping for. But, we'll see if that happens. Thanks, Wayne.
If I may ask a question about Amazon, while we're talking about Amazon, are all the things that they sell, are they all genuine? So if you put in a product and it comes up Amazon and it's got the price and it's got the ad and the whole deal, are there any dodgy ones in that?
Yeah, of course. You got to read. You got to do your due diligence, like Jan said.
The thing about Amazon, though, the thing about Amazon is that Amazon used to stand behind everything they sold. So if you bought something, and all the money does go through Amazon. So if you buy something from Amazon, make sure that you go through the legitimate website, Amazon.com, and then you pay. But what they're doing now is that their return policy was pretty much no questions asked. Now they're asking questions about return, and they're not refunding the full amount.
Yeah.
At least that's what they're saying that they're going to be doing. I don't know if they put that into effect yet, but I know that that's where they're headed right now.
Yeah, it's just that I was looking at a sale yesterday, 70% off a product, and I just couldn't believe that they would be selling that at that price.
Well, the reason why they could be selling that at 70% off would be that they have an abundance of them, or it is a discontinued item that they need to get rid of because they've made a replacement. Like you'll see a lot of sales, for example, on power supplies. That you plug in, like because the technology on what do they call it, with the portable power supplies that you carry, battery packs. So you'll see that the technology is greatly enhanced all the time. They're now at NiCad, where it will fast twice as fast, to charge twice as fast. So the older models they have to get rid of because they're not as efficient and as effective. So they will discount them greatly. So you have to be careful about that. That in order to save some money, you're actually getting an inferior product that's no longer applicable in the world. So be careful about that.
Sorry, Jan, this one was a console, a rack, and a 150-foot Ethernet cable, Cat5, and they're all current. And I'm going, I wouldn't enter it because it's just too cheap. I just couldn't imagine that that being real. But that's why I was asking the question, because if it's on Amazon, if it's on Amazon.com, you could pretty much rest assured that it's going to be what it says. However, it might not be what you need, and Amazon does have a return policy.
It may not be in good quality. The quality of it might not be good, but it will be what it says. It just might have other areas that you're unknown in.
So there's no copy. I probably shouldn't say while recording, but there's no copies of the Midas, small Midas consoles and racks.
There might be counterfeit ones out there.
From Australia, I have no idea what the rules and regulations.
Amazon actually sells Midas. That's actually Midas does sell through Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's an unreal deal going for M32s at the moment.
Really?
That I do know. Amazon is one of their distribution hubs. for Midas when they changed everything after COVID.
Well, one of the things you have to be very careful of is that there is such a thing as manufactured advertised price, and I believe that's what it stands for. Minimum advertised price, possibly. MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price. So it's MAP, as like I said, the latter. And they can't go below that. So if look, here's the rule of thumb. Anything that's too good to be true usually is.
It usually is. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I think.
But
is
the
that
one thing, Wayne, M32s are, they're end of life now. Okay, with Midas. So
are they?
yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah,
you see, there it is, end of life. So because it's end of life, that's why they're discounting it, because they got a new product that's replacing it.
I mean,
that's the HD 96 is the latest model now. That's an all digital console.
yes, that's quite expensive. That's 60 grand or something or other.
Yeah.
But that's not in the M32 category, but is it? But they're deleting the M32 shortly. Anyway, well, I was just interested because I was looking them up and I'm going, wow. Because I mean, it's American.
And just look at the seller. That's all. Because normally it'll be Amazon.com. It comes direct from their warehouse if it's from.
Yeah, I'll have to check it.
Amazon will have it. It'll say direct from Amazon.com, which means they have a crate there with the items direct shipped to them. Or it could be like with the other company, ADL Gear, or certain legitimate online websites that sell them through there too.
Yeah. The M32 is a good console, Wayne. It really is. It's a shame, It
all looks good. It all looks genuine, but I just was surprised at the package price.
Well, that is a good price. That might be a special for Australia for your marketplace.
I can never afford one, Jen.
There you go. You could become the Midas King of Walla Walla. There you go.
I wanted to buy an XL 200 was my favorite Midas, because
there you go.
In the early 90s, but I could never afford one.
And now you can. So unbelievable. Now you can.
I can't afford one now either.
Oh my God. Save your money. Stop giving it away for coffee. That's all I could say. Stop giving that money away.
That was worth every bit of your shouting is a coffee. Absolutely. It's your birthday.
That's really good. Well, there's a rise of bromances going on, men to men relationships, just friendship right now because of what's happened with COVID, and the way it is. But there's an article in the New York Times. Well, actually, no, it's not in the New York Times. This is just this is a studiesfind.org story that I came across. The rise of bromance, young man engaging in close friendship, expressing feelings like never before, but this is just legitimate, no sexual activity kind of thing. It's just more like men are being friends. I don't understand that. I've had my best friends from when I was a kid. In New York when I grew up, New York, there were 14 million people living in the city. And I remember hearing a long time ago that if you think you're special, you think you're one in a million, just remember there are 14 more of you living next door, That's how I used to hear it about New York. So I learned a lot of humility and humble, to be humble when I was younger. Anyway, but I had I don't know, maybe 10 friends that I would hang out with all the time. And there was nothing sexual going on. We were just learning who we were at the time, and we were all becoming the people that we are today. And it was a wonderful friendship, and I still have many of those friends today. But one sad moment in time is one of our friends did pass away this week. And Mark, may you rest in peace. I wasn't very close with him because I moved away from New York, and, the development of the friendships of the group continued even without me being there. But my friend Lonnie, Jack, Howie, those three guys, Kenny, Barry, those are guys that just come right off the top of my head that I was good friends with when I was just growing up. I had one friend, I was never really that close with, but I knew him Richard. And basically, we've all grown up. And the thing about these friendships is you can't replace them because everybody knew everybody before they were the people that we are today. And you can't replace that. There's no way to replace that because they knew who I was before I knew who I was. You guys have friends like that?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that you, like when you think back even to your school days, there's always a group of people that you enjoy being around. And even if you don't connect over a long period of time, you still remain. It's just something that you just do. You just, if you were friends when you're in school until you're 20, they're always friends, I think. I've only just reconnected with a friend of mine in the last 3 or 4 years that I was very good friends with here in Wagga, and he went to Western Australia, Perth, and became a geologist and worked for oil companies. And now he's sort of semi-retired or retired, and we've been chatting away, and it's like the last 35 years didn't even exist. It's bizarre. But I think everyone does that, and because we all change a little bit, but we don't. Do you think, as you get older?
I think that we can change the way we think, but our basic instincts go back to when we first developed our personalities. Like, for example, your smile is still the smile that you had when you were a kid. And that's, recognizable. Maybe your eyes, your facial structure, your hair is a little, lighter in color or thinner, but your smile seems to maintain throughout the years,
Anyway, that's my thoughts on, I've got quite a few good friends that I've known since I was, and I'm not really a good people person, to be quite honest, but I just chat away and do me thing.
Well, do you think they feel that way about you? That's the question.
Well, I never really know, do you? I think you do, to some extent. You do.
That could be a good outtake for a short. I think I might use that, Wayne. All right, I've been trying to develop the show and get more. The shorts seem to be doing better than the actual show itself as far as views go. So I'm finding that one of the shorts that I created has 2,100 views, and that was as of last week. So it probably even has more. So shorts on YouTube seem to be doing quite well, right. But we're nowhere near. By the way, if indeed that it does become profitable somehow, where YouTube starts to pay me, then of course I will share that money with everybody who's on the panel. Just an FYI, if that does happen. But don't hold your breath. That's for sure. Don't hold your breath.
So Kurt and Ken and David and
they're all working. David picked up a cover band that is an official Eagles cover band. In other words, the Eagles have sanctioned them to be their official cover band, which seems crazy to me, but evidently that's that. And Kenny's working with Manilow, and I believe they're in New York City right now, getting ready to do Radio City Music Hall. And Fred is out working. Look, everybody's working right now. We're getting into the heat of the summer, and there's a million tours out there. And so people that we started with here that were sitting around doing nothing, hoping to find something to do, have now had their hopes come true, and now they're working like crazy. And so, yeah, it's, and this is a time of day, Wednesday at 4:00 Las Vegas time, 7:00. Ken Porter's in London right now. The last I heard, he was in London, not because he had to be, because he wanted to be. That kind of thing. But anyway, I appreciate it. I would do this even if I was alone on the panel. But it just seems because it is going public, a lot of people don't want to express their opinion. They're afraid to express their opinion. So I do appreciate everybody who comes on the panel and expresses their opinion. And has anybody gotten any feedback whatsoever from anything that they've done on this? You know, has anybody said, "Hey, I saw you on the opinion show"? Anybody?
Not yet. No.
That's
Once
because
in a
so few
while I
people are
get
watching
a-
it. That's why.
Once in a while, I get it from some of my friends saying, "What was that show that you were on?" You know, so yeah, a couple of my friends have mentioned it. You know, but hey, you know,
Well, it's a lot of fun. I find it's a lot of fun, you know, talking about stuff because look, we could always, you know, Wayne, on the other hand, doesn't have a lot of people that he could talk to about sound and lights in Australia, you know, and then he gets an opportunity to talk to a guy like Greg Baker, you know, who is the human mic stand, you know, official in Wikipedia. You know, I mean, that's an opportunity of a lifetime for
I'm
him.
literally a rocket man. By the way, I'm up for the next. I'm now a secondary for SpaceX now as the launch audio engineer. So they launch a lot. So hey, you know,
Good.
it's going to be fun. I know how to mix a rocket.
Very good.
Well, hey, that's you know, that is something that when the aliens come from outer space, they might need your services. So, hey,
Yeah.
it's good to have on your resume.
I used to work with a band called The Aliens Are Coming. That was very good. So the other question I have for you, Jan, on a USA thing. Back in the 90s, I read a documentary about America having over 2,000 companies that could supply a production to an arena. Is that sort of correct?
I would say there's more than that.
Wow.
I would say there are a lot more than that. This is a billion. I would say this is about a $2-3 billion industry that we're in. If you just consider the equipment aspect of it, if you consider the artist side of it, then you're talking about, you know, a multi-billion-dollar industry. Because basically, for example, Live Nation booked over $3 billion in the first quarter.
Wow.
Yeah, but for arenas, I think the organization has consolidated a lot. So, speaking of Ken Porter,
Hello, Ken.
And I guess I was wrong. He's not in London. They let him out.
So,
At home Friday night, barely.
How was London? How was London? Did you go for the Queen? I mean, the King? The King and Queen.
Are you talking about James Gordon, the king?
I thought that was James Brown. Do I have that wrong? All right.
Oh, that'd be Elvis.
Oh, the Elvis. Yeah, there we have it. So no, how was Europe for you?
Well, whirlwind, because I was at Formula One the weekend before. I flew home Monday morning and flew out Monday afternoon, and then catnapped the whole time and did the event at the Shard on Tuesday with the premiere and the birthday party and all that stuff. Saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. And then went to Digico offices and saw stuff that they're doing and all that stuff. And then I went up and visited a couple of people. I went up to saw Alex at 22 Live. I don't know if you've ever know him or Alex Penn.
I think I've heard the name before, but I can't guarantee it. I've heard a lot of names.
His dad was SSE.
No, I can't say that I do, but maybe Greg's shaking his head. Yes, maybe Greg knows him.
You know Alex? Or you know?
Yeah, I met him a couple. Oh gosh, must have been 8 years ago. I think that was the last time I was working. Yeah, I'm sure it's totally different now.
Well, the SSE was bought by Solitech,
Mm-hmm.
and then several of them in the management team as he kind of retired out, kind of rolled out and waited their non-compete, and then started 22 Live in 22.
Oh, okay.
So they're
Hey,
starting.
listen, Ken, do you know who did the production for the coronation concert last Sunday?
I don't know. Was it Britt Rowe?
That's what I thought, but yeah, they had a Meyer system up, and it looked like Ed Sheeran's stage, but nobody, at least I can't find out. I've asked around, and
Doesn't Major Tom do Ed Sheeran?
Yep.
And they got a lot of Meyer.
yeah, could be then.
Got over
You
know?
200 boxes. Yeah.
Some of
We
them
have
are loaded.
we have a Google expert in the room. Tina, well, I'm sure she's already actively Googling to find out. So before the end of this show, stick around and you will hear the answer.
What's the question?
There
I
was
don't
some
remember.
VT
Who
was
did
some VT
production for the coronation concert at Windsor?
There was some VTX line arrays on some of the towers. I downloaded those pictures,
Hmm.
and there was definitely quite a lot of JBL stuff, but I couldn't see what the main system was.
Well, then that's definitely okay. I thought they were Myers, but
Oh, the main one could have been, but certainly the
Yeah.
delays had.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it was a Harman system in England. That just doesn't seem right to me. It
Seems a little
doesn't-
odd. Yes, I agree.
It does seem a little odd. It would seem that it seems Meyer would be the way to go. Meyer or maybe
Meyer
Martin.
or Martin, one of the two.
And
Yeah.
Digicode.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. They were
Anyway, we'll do the
definitely
research.
Digicode.
We'll find out. I mean, we could look at PSLN, that magazine, or maybe Pro Sound News might have it,
Or
or
FOH will probably have it.
FOH. Yeah, FOH, PSLN. They're the same people. Terry Lowe, who used to come and join us every week. I miss him. But he's not here now. So everybody's working. That's all I could say. Everybody's working, which is a great thing. Keep up the good work.
Except me this morning. Hey, Jan,
So
here-
right now, one of the things that's really going on and big time right now is people are getting really, really close right now to perfecting nuclear fusion. And there are 7 startup companies right now making energy history, which is going to be phenomenal if it gets that way, because right now they just said that they're afraid that the world is heating up, and this year we might go over 1.5 centigrade. It might raise more than 1.5 centigrade. And that would not be good for the oceans. Or actually, there would be just more water in the oceans, and that would be bad for people living in the coastal lands all over the world. And then they've got El Nino coming up this year, which is not the band. We're not talking about the band El Nino. We're talking about the weather conditions of where it gets really, really hot, and so.
That's going to be horrible. That I saw in the newsstand that Spain is the largest producer of olives, and because it's been so hot and they had a drought last year, olive production is down like 70%. So hoard your olive oil or try to put something else other than an olive in your martini.
I always thought that olives were a product of Italy for some reason. When I think about olives, I think of olive oil. I think of the olive oil business. I think of the mafia. I mean, that's just how it runs. That's my mind. There you go.
Right.
I know there's no such thing as the mafia, but, if there were, that's what it would happen,
Right.
Remember, it's
I
an
just
opinion.
happened to see that on the BBC last night. They're like,
Yeah.
all the olive trees they're dying. They're hundreds and hundreds of years old, and they're just giving up, saying, "Hey, that's it, we're done."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I enjoy olives, especially in the can, the black olives that are pitted. Hate to say it, I like canned food, but here in Thailand, everything is so fresh. It's refreshing every once in a while to open something canned. Makes me think of home, that's it. Makes me think of, my upbringing.
Get yourself a tin of sardines.
Yeah, there it is. I never could get into sardines. Sardines is just one of those things sardines and anchovies are just not my cup of tea or cup of fish.
can of baked beans. What I eat.
Oh, there you go.
More you eat, the more you toot.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, also you have to be careful about that because it could cause pancreatic cancer eating that stuff, and that's just a lead into the next story. By the way, I have no idea if that's true or not. Just an opinion. But anyway, can you believe it? I mean, science is really coming through right now. Pancreatic cancer vaccine shows promise in small trial. They're using the mRNA tailored to each patient's tumor, and the vaccine may have staved off the return of one of the deadliest forms of cancer and half of those who've received it. So that's an article that's in the New York Times right now. But that's an amazing story. I mean, so many pancreatic cancer, once you get it, it's basically a death sentence, from my understanding. This would be a miracle. This would basically be a miracle if this vaccine can be generated in such amount that it would be good for the whole public. It would be a wonderful thing. So I thought I would share that.
Hope it doesn't get caught up in politics like other vaccines.
Well, it could be. That could happen. That could happen, but you never know until it's done. That's where it's at. You don't know. I mean, hey, do you know what they did? They found a 3,000-year-old hair, right, in Europe. They found it, and they found out that it hold the clue to. They used to do psychotic drugs over there in those days. So they found that 3,000 years ago, they were doing, peyote or mescaline or that kind of stuff. And that could have gotten caught up in the political aspect of the time as well. But they just found that. And we have a link from CNN on that. Crazy,
Wasn't it a South Park episode where they had the hair club for men?
Yeah.
And that Jesus was a rabbit?
Very, very possible. Very, very possible.
Yeah, his name was Cy Sperling. Yeah.
I miss Monty Python. I don't know why I said that, but I do. I miss the Monty Python. I miss, did you guys ever see, what was it, Faulty Towers?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever watch Faulty Towers? To me, that was some of the most classic slapstick comedy ever on television. It was with the BBC, I believe, and it was hilarious. John Cleese was amazing with that, with his cast of characters that he put together. It's just an amazing comedy, and I think they only did like 7 or 8 of them, but you can find them on YouTube as well. So, Faulty Towers. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about, and then we can open it up to anybody that's got anything that they want to say, had to do with this story that I found called The Power of Proximity. And basically what it's saying is that young workers are missing out on the ability to bond with coworkers in the office because now they're not going into the office. And because of that, they're not growing and learning as fast as they used to. I mean, I think that, there's no longer a journeyman program where they go in and they, the water cooler thing was a good thing where people would gather around the water cooler and talk about certain things and you would learn so much. But now everybody's isolated because they want to work out of the home, COVID taught us a few things. One of the things that it taught us is that unless you have inventory, do you really need an office? You really need a place to congregate, or can people work out of their homes? Maybe they're not as productive as they could be, but they have a lot more free time and they can control their own time.
I think it needs to be a mix because you do get a lot. You put a bunch of people in a room and they start bouncing off each other, and there's good to come there, and it's hard to do on a Zoom call or a Teams call or whatever.
And it probably depends on the type of business or the type of work they do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't necessarily have to talk to people if you're in accounting.
Well, there is one good thing about the Zoom meetings. And that is, if someone in the meeting doesn't live up to personal hygiene, you can't smell them. That's the best part about this.
Well, I saw.
Well, in a few years from now, that will be, you never know. That could be the latest thing. You'll have an AI controlled box, and it will take your smell and digitally transpose it, and it will come right out of your iPad.
Don't
Didn't
you
they
remember Smell-O-Vision?
Yeah, smell-o-vision. Yeah.
Hey, I saw an article somewhere, thing talking about that there's a fire sale going on high-rise office buildings. Like they were talking about one in San Francisco that's selling for like 30% of the value of what it is because nobody's in it and it's just sitting there empty and they're losing money.
Yeah, I mean, really, and it's truly going to be a fire sale soon. If if they don't get somebody, no, the marketplace, the real estate, the high value real estate market of major cities are really being tested. But they're saying that it might be a good place for the homeless to live. And so like in New York right now, they're converting a lot of the skyscrapers into residential. And it could be that Manhattan could become a residential marketplace for the ultra wealthy. That's also a problem because, like, I read an article about Los Angeles right now, and Los Angeles basically is prices are getting so high for people that they can't find people to work in the lesser jobs. Because they're just not getting paid. They're not getting paid enough, so they can't afford to find a place to live that's in the vicinity to work, and that's a problem.
That's how it's going to be in Vegas soon.
Yeah,
I think that's happening. That's happening here in Australia.
It's ridiculous that the city council, the mayors, they don't get a hold of this quick enough. Their greed kicked in before reality. And now that they have, people complaining, businesses suffering and complaining, now they're in discussions to see what they could do about it when they had the opportunity. When you take the land away from your low income housing and think that you're going to move them out the way where they're where that's not where they want to be or can easily work, you cause a lot of this.
Well, that's been the history of municipalities doing that to the poor and the indigenous.
But you need them. You have to have a balance. Who's going to do? Las Vegas is a service industry with these 4 new hotel projects and even more ballparks or arenas. Who's going to work there? And then you're talking about currently they're talking about bringing 2 large major movie studios here. Who's going to work there? And where's everybody going to live? So then you're building these apartments now. Now they're building these apartments. All the apartments are stacked on top of each other. Well, we never had apartments like that. Now we're getting apartments that are 5, 10 stories high, just regular apartment buildings, and they're building like 10 buildings where then you have traffic, and then it just eventually they just become another sore eye because things change all the time, and they want to charge all this rent, but people don't make that much money here or make the type of money to pay what they keep asking. So how are cities supposed to survive when you're offsetting the total natural ambience of how a service place like Las Vegas is supposed to grow?
Well, to quote Julius Caesar, "E tu, Brute, e tu." That's it. I mean, basically, who is Julius Caesar today? He's just some character in a play. But basically, the Roman Empire, empires change and things change, and who's powerful today might not be powerful tomorrow. But my question to you, Tina, is where are they getting the water for all these apartment buildings and
that's
baseball
my same
stadiums?
question I ask every time I hear something is being built. I'm like, where are they going to get the water? Because they're just making all the residents suffer. They're telling the residents they can't do this. They can't build larger pools. They can't water on Sundays. It's against the law to water on Sundays now. I mean, all these ridiculous rules. And then the kicker is that, the taxpayers are the one who actually put the money up to help build these things, most of the time that they don't even know. And yet, the citizens get treated very bad. They just get treated very bad.
Well, one thing I'll just say this, and then we got to go to the people watching on YouTube and Facebook and social media. You could be in the room, you could be part of the panel. Just DM me from anywhere, because we're gonna have to say goodbye to you guys very shortly. But the last thing that I want to say about that is I got a letter from the city of Henderson, where my house is located, saying that pool parties, to rent my pool for parties, is illegal. I can't rent my pool out to have parties there. Is that not crazy or what?
Yeah, because they have a website now where you could rent people could rent out their pools to have parties.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the email. They mentioned that in email. You can't list your pool for partying on this website. I don't know who would do that, but I guess there are plenty of people that would. Hey, next thing you know, they're not going to allow people to rent out their houses to do porno movies in Las Vegas. What's this world coming to?
I doubt that. With as much money as they charge just to get the filming permit, I think they'll be okay.
They do that with permits? I had no idea they were permitted to do that. Well, there you go. All right, listen, everybody. Thanks for watching on Facebook, social media, wherever you are, LinkedIn. We're everywhere. I hope you're enjoying the show. Remember, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you like. We're getting more subscribers. We're up to 351. My dream would be to 451, but we're at 351 right now. It's been a pleasure to be here today. I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next week for our 157th meeting, and hope you can make it. And with that, we are going to go off the air. Just remember this: you make it happen. And that's all I can say. You make it happen. Stay safe, stay healthy.